4 men, 4 empires, and one terrifying secret they all shared. They didn't just conquer the world, they were consumed by it. Their rise to power was legendary, but their downfalls were even more haunting. Let's begin with Alexander the Great. At just 20 years old, he inherited the throne of Macedonia. In just over a decade, he conquered most of the known world. From Greece to Egypt, from Persia to the edge of India. He never lost a battle. But at the height of his power, something strange happened. In Babylon, he fell ill. For 6 days, his body showed no signs of decay. Ancient Greeks believed it was a sign of divinity, that their king was more than mortal. But modern science suggests something chilling. Alexander may have suffered from Guillain-Barré syndrome, a neurological disorder that left him paralyzed, appearing dead while he was fully conscious, buried alive, hearing the footsteps of those mourning above, powerless to scream. Next, Julius Caesar, Rome's most famous dictator. A man so ambitious, he transformed the Roman Republic into the beginnings of an empire. His military genius reshaped Europe, and his popularity terrified the Senate. On the Ides of March, 44 BCE, Caesar walked into the theater of Pompey and never walked out. 23 stab wounds later, he lay bleeding on the floor. But here's the part they never emphasize. Many of those wounds were superficial. The fatal blow, believed to come from Brutus, his adopted son. Imagine dying with your child's dagger in your chest. Caesar's final gaze wasn't toward the heavens, but into the eyes of betrayal. Then there's Genghis Khan, the Mongol warlord whose empire stretched farther than any in history. Ruthless in conquest, strategic in vision, he united warring tribes into a force that terrified the world. But how he died remains a mystery. Some say he was thrown from a horse. Others whisper of an assassin's blade, or even castration during battle. Mongol tradition hid his death to prevent chaos. His body was buried in a secret location. Legend says the funeral procession killed every witness and horses trampled the earth to erase the grave. His death was so shrouded in silence, it became a weapon. Even in death, Genghis inspired terror. And finally, Napoleon Bonaparte. Once a general, then an emperor, he reshaped Europe with a single will. But after his defeat at Waterloo, he was exiled to a desolate island, St. Helena. There, stripped of power, he lived out his days isolated and tormented. Letters speak of hallucinations. He'd speak to people who weren't there. He still wore his uniform, still believed he commanded legions. Modern historians suspect stomach cancer or arsenic poisoning, slowly eroding his mind. The man who once ruled empires, reduced to shadows and whispers. What do all these men share? Unstoppable ambition, brilliant minds, a hunger for control. But power at its peak isn't freedom, it's a cage. It isolates, distorts, and finally consumes. They all died the same way, alone, starving for more. Because absolute power doesn't just corrupt, it devours everything, even the men who wield it. And now, centuries later, we still chase power. We still crown modern conquerors, in politics, in business, in war. But history warns us, those who climb highest fall the hardest. Who's next? Like this if you believe history still echoes in today's world. Subscribe for more forbidden truths they never taught in school.